MMOs, they're usually harmless, right? Just something you can play to pass the time, make new friends, and own your own pet without the hassle of worrying about it dying. Seems fun, right? Nope. My god, the amount of controversies there have been. If I wanted to list them all, this video would end up being 2 hours long. So buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen, this is one hell of a ride. As many people know, Moshi Monsters got in trouble with Lady Gaga for their harmless parody of her. However, there have been many other issues revolving around the Moshi franchise, with the Gaga incident seeming like nothing in comparison. Many issues have arose surrounding the characters in the game, mainly the Hoodoos. To start it off, they have often been criticised as being offensive to many tribes, with them usually wearing stereotypical racist costumes such as grass skirts, tribal masks and face paint, sparking many complaints towards them. This isn't the only time that Moshi have ever had issues with seemingly racist characters, with an extremely large amount appearing in the Moshi and Rescue mobile game, mainly towards Native Americans, as well as there also being many stereotypical Moshlings, such as Bruce the Power Chihuahua, a stereotypical Japanese monk who is of course a master of Kung Fu. Surprisingly, the designs of the Hoodoos wasn't the only bit of controversy sparked around them. They were also the main example of cannibalism being portrayed in the franchise, with many foods seemingly joking about them being a main ingredient. Bin Weevils also had a similar issue with the racist character design, this time being Weevil X. Weevil X was the main villain of the game, constantly getting into problems, starting off with stealing a bin pet, but even going on to attempting to blow up Castle Gam, which wouldn't be a problem as it's a stereotypical villain in a kid's game. However, many people have made the connection between this action and the appearance of Weevil X, primarily the fact he's wearing a headscarf, not being used to display any religious intention, purely for character design and to link the character to stereotypes yet again. Crazy how much kids games have to rely on outdated stereotypes and use what they think is good character design. It really isn't, guys. Thankfully, Club Penguin managed to avoid many of these traps. However, they still managed to spark controversy and outrage with the fans many times, almost all of them being after Disney acquired the franchise. My personal favourite being them adding Puff Escape. No, like seriously, I'm addicted to everything about that game, it isn't even funny. However, these came with many downsides. If it was Disney, they did what they always do, casted the game full of their other franchise, ruining the lore behind Club Penguin completely. As long as they did this vaguely, it wouldn't have been much of a problem. However, they began to replace the custom parties with these takeovers, special events to promote their future projects, Frozen, Star Wars, and even the Muppets at one point. We always seem to forget that they're Disney. A constant barrage of in-your-face promotions caused many fans to complain and even ditch the long-lived game for God. Club Penguin wasn't the only game to have a problem with advertising other things in it though. Towards the later times of Bin Weevils, the game was plastered with adverts so much that you could hardly even tell what you were playing, with most rooms having 2 or 3 adverts for third-party things such as Nerf, My Little Pony and even Angry Birds at one point, making many players question if they were even playing on the Weevily world they once knew. Funnily enough though, Bin Weevils didn't just have issues with advertising other products though. In 2015, Bin Weevils and Moshi Monsters both got in trouble with the Advertising Standards Agency because of how they advertise their membership feature, commonly saying that they need to become a member, and in Moshi's case, even going as far to say that membership would make them popular. So that explains why I don't have any friends. One of its more well-known controversies, which arguably brought Club Penguin back to life with its closure. At the end of March, 5 years ago, Club Penguin finally came to an end. After 12 years, the beloved Flash game had shut. Many old fans came to see the game end, arguably making it one of the game's most popular times once again. However, as it came to rest, something much worse appeared. Club Penguin Island. It was like Club Penguin, obviously, except it was 3D, terrible and cheaply made, and everything, and I mean everything, needed membership. Needed membership for the missions, membership for your igloo, membership for even some minigames, and yet again, even membership for wearing fucking trousers, which the YouTuber Quackity protested about numerous times. You can start to see why the game only lasted a year now. Bin Weevils yet again had also sparked outrage over the removal of a location in 2011. Ink's Orange Peel, the main location for Weevils to meet up in the bin, was removed. This caused protest in the game on a number of occasions. However, the location was re-added in 2014 if users visited Dig's Time portal. However, at this time, most of the users declaimed some fountain as their home anyway. Back on the design controversies, Moshi Monsters had yet another incident, this time with the Glumps. Changing Faces, a charity based around ableism towards people with disfigurement, called out the Mind Candy team for the designs using disfigurement as the main way to portray the characters were evil, requesting changing the descriptions and names of the characters, and also claimed that it led to children being bullied due to it. However, Mind Candy refused to act, defending their point by saying that some of the most loved characters were also shown with many of these characteristics. Club Penguin also had a lot more issues and controversies after the game's closure. However, none of them were at the fault of Disney, more so just the private servers. In 2020, Disney went through a purge, deleting many different private servers due to some activity on Club Penguin Online, which I'd rather not talk about. Only a few private servers made it through the purge, with 3 people on the team supposedly being arrested for the distribution of copyrighted materials. The security of these web MMOs was also a big risk to many players. However, many only had 1 or 2 major security issues in their lifetime, usually being resolved extremely quickly, but not Bin Weevils. The game had 4 major breaches over its lifetime, with the team's attempts at resolving them being pathetic. The first of the bunch happened in 2009, where a user by the name of Bandit had gained access to the database. The team at Bin Weevils kept changing the password for the database and eventually just gave up. Security at its finest right here. The next of the major breaches occurred in 2014, in which 1.3 million users' details were leaked. On top of this, rather than addressing the controversy, Bin Weevils tried to hide the breach, claiming that they were doing maintenance on the site for a week, and added the Nest location shortly after. Another of the breaches happened shortly after, in 2017. In this breach, as well as many more users' data being leaked, the staff's admin panel was also leaked, which caused many problems within the game. The latter of the breaches happened quite recently, in August of 2020, just before the game's closure. Talk about a game being unsafe, honestly. If you played Moshi Monsters, you'd know how important getting a complete zoo was, how long everyone tried for it, just to get them on and be one shot. One single Moshlin that nobody could get, Moshlin being Raffy. Raffy was the creation of a 2014 charity auction, where whoever won got to add an exclusive Moshlin to the game, which sparked outrage within the game's community that made it impossible to complete the Moshlin Zoo due to it, with only one of the 80 million players being able to get the higgledy-piggledy either. And to top it off, Moshi never ended up releasing to the public who had this Moshlin, meaning that it was forever a mystery whether someone had genuinely completed their Moshlin Zoo. Then the news about Raffy stayed quiet for a while, until recently, which the creator's father announced that the Moshlin would be sold as an NFT. However, it was unknown whether the NFT was sold or not, as any mentions of it, including the OpenSea page, are no longer available online. And that brings me to the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed the ride, thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe.